Imagine stepping into a year where the world felt like it was simultaneously unraveling and being rebuilt. You know, a global pandemic was still pretty fresh in memory. A major economic downturn was kind of quietly brewing.
Right.
And social movements for civil rights and women's suffrage were absolutely reaching this fever pitch.
It sounds, well, eerily familiar to today in some ways, doesn't it?
It really does. But we're actually talking about 1920, a truly pivotal, kind of chaotic but also really inspiring year in American history.
Yeah.
And within that intensely charged atmosphere, a group of visionary women decided it was the perfect time to found a new sorority.
It's truly striking how these huge historical currents just converged, creating this fertile ground for organizations like Zeta Phi Beta to emerge. Not just as social clubs, but as fundamental forces for profound societal change. It really underscores how, even in moments of great upheaval, visionary leaders can build these foundational institutions.
That's a fantastic point, and it beautifully sets the stage for our deep dive today. Welcome, everyone, to the Deep Dive. We're plunging into the remarkable world of Black Greek letter organizations, specifically uncovering the audacious origins and the enduring legacy of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority.
And this is a really rich topic.
It is, and for this deep dive, we've pulled some incredible insights from excerpts of the book, Before You Pledge. Essential information you should know about Black Greek letter organizations and the dynamics of pledging in a culture of hazing.
Right.
That's by the esteemed historian and sociologist, Dr. Michael J. Winfield Sr., and it has a foreword by J.T. Childs, Jr.
Excellent source material. So our mission today is to truly unpack that critical historical backdrop, the world Zeta Phi Beta was born into.
Exactly.
And explore its truly unique vision, and then trace its journey, really, from just a campus organization to the international powerhouse for service and social change it is today.
It's quite a journey.
It really is.
Yeah.
And when you consider an organization that aims to transform society from its very beginning, especially in times like those,
Yeah.
what do you think that says about the kind of women who founded it?
That's such a powerful question. It immediately makes me think of the sheer courage it must have taken, to envision something entirely new, not just for themselves, but for their entire community. It implies this deep-seated belief that change wasn't just possible, but, well, imperative.
Yeah.
So let's unpack that spirit. Let's step back into the world of 1920 itself. This wasn't just any year, it was like a powder keg of societal shifts and movements.
Indeed, it really was. According to research, you had Marcus Garvey's Universal Improvement Association National Convention opening in Harlem, New York on August 1st, 1920.
Right, the UNIA.
Exactly. And the agenda was incredibly ambitious. They were talking about a declaration for a Bill of Rights for African Americans.
Oh.
And the establishment of the Black Star Steamship Corporation, aimed at facilitating trade and transportation back to Africa. Big ideas.
And talk about scale. The very next night, Garvey addressed this massive crowd, something like 25,000 Black men and women at Madison Square Garden.
Incredible turnout.
Yeah. According to research, Garvey's nationalist movement actually peaked its influence right around this time, between 1920 and 1921.
But it's interesting, right? Because this period wasn't just about Black nationalism. At the same time, you also saw James Weldon Johnson becoming the first African-American executive director of the NAACP.
A different strategy for advancement.
Exactly, marking a different kind of strategic approach to civil rights.
Yeah. But this juxtaposition of, monumental progress and this intense, pervasive oppression, it's just critical to understanding the climate then.
Absolutely critical, because while these advancements were happening, according to the source, the Ku Klux Klan was also intensely active. We're talking operating in 27 states with over 100,000 members.
100,000? That's staggering.
It really is. There's a period of just stark contrast, progress, clashing head-on with systemic racism and, frankly, widespread violence.
That's a powerful point. It really highlights the duality of that era. And interestingly, beyond the racial dynamics, 1920 was also marked by other huge shifts.
Like Prohibition.
Exactly. The Volstead Act officially kicked off Prohibition, radically changing daily life for everyone. And for women, it was a landmark year. Tennessee secured its place as the 36th state to ratify the 19th Amendment, finally granting women suffrage. That was a truly crucial moment, significantly expanding women's political agency.
A huge step.
Yeah.
But there's another crucial detail here. This same year also marked the arrival of a severe and extended economic recession in the U.S.
Right, the post-war recession.
Yeah, and according to research from Friedman and Jacobson Schwartz, the Federal Reserve's failure to counteract the money supply contraction in a timely manner, well, that ultimately led to the Great Depression by the end of the decade.
So you've got this incredibly intricate and frankly charged historical backdrop.
Yeah, charged is the right word, where the need for collective action and mutual support was becoming just undeniably urgent.
And it's within this maelstrom of change and challenge that 5 visionary women conceived of a sorority. Their goal wasn't merely to create another social organization, but to directly contribute to positive change, to elevate awareness, promote academic excellence, and cultivate a stronger sense of unity among its members.
That's a level of audacity, isn't it?
Yeah.
It truly sets them apart.
It really does.
Speaks to this profound sense of purpose. They weren't just reacting to the times, they were actively trying to shape them.
Yeah.
And this brings us right to the actual birth of Zeta Phi Beta and how this truly transformative vision actually came to life.
Okay, let's unpack this initial spark. So the story begins with Charles Taylor.
From Phi Beta Sigma.
Right, from Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. He approached Arizona Cleaver with a truly bold idea, creating a sister organization that would be constitutionally bound to Phi Beta Sigma.
Now, you have to understand the context at Howard University at the time. It's quite specific.
Very specific.
One striking aspect here is that there were already 2 well-established sororities on campus, Alpha Kappa Alpha and Delta Sigma Theta.
AKA and DST, right.
Exactly. And according to research, female students who wanted to join a sorority typically aimed to be invited into one of those existing groups.
It made sense they were established.
Right. So, for Taylor to propose a new one, well, he knew it would be an uphill battle, probably, to generate interest, potentially even facing some skepticism.
But Cleaver's response apparently quickly dispelled his concerns. Her positive reaction and support were immediate.
That's great.
Yeah. Inspired, she then spoke with her friend Pearl Neal, who eagerly agreed to collaborate. And according to Dr. Winfield, the founders aimed to create a sorority that would address more significant societal issues, especially those concerning the Black community, rather than just focus on social events.
And this really highlights their distinguishing philosophy, doesn't it? They saw something, maybe a gap.
Seems like it.
They believed that the existing sororities were, in their view anyway, overshadowing their true purpose by focusing maybe too much on elitism and social activities,
Right.
and failing to fully address critical societal issues like prejudices and poverty impacting the broader Black community. They saw a need, and they decided to fill it.
So their objective was kind of comparable in a way to Delta Sigma Theta split from Alpha Kappa Alpha, which had already brought the number of sororities at Howard to 2.
Right, that it set a precedent of sorts.
Yeah. So if Arizona Cleaver and Pearl Neal succeeded, there would be 3. Now, according to Lulilia Harrison, the perceptions of sorority leaders played a significant role here. She argued that the existence of sororities sometimes relied on superficial qualities, such as physical appearance and economic status, as criteria for membership.
And this is a crucial point that truly sets Zeta Phi Beta apart. According to Dr. Winfield, the founders of Zeta Phi Beta were not color-struck, nor limited by biases like that.
That's a powerful statement.
It is. This meant their doors were open to all women who saw academic achievement as the true accomplishment of the college experience.
Merit over appearance or status.
Exactly. This fundamental inclusivity, rooted in intellectual merit rather than social standing or appearance, was, well, pretty radical for the time.
And it wasn't just about external criteria either. Personal beliefs about the pledging process itself were also a factor.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, according to one of the founders, even though she had friends in both existing sororities, she stated, "I could not be a friend's maid to become a pledge."
Wow.
Yeah. She said, "I believe that enthusiasm or active interest should be greater than submissiveness."
That really underscores a core value, doesn't it? Independent thought, self-respect.
Absolutely. Woven into Zeta's fabric from day one, it highlights this desire for genuine sisterhood over maybe a ritualistic hierarchy.
Which meant this commitment to an independent, purposeful path. Well, it meant Arizona Cleaver and Pearl Neal were truly starting a new tradition of sisterhood on the Howard campus.
A new way.
Yeah. Initially, they had 14 students selected, but they faced immediate challenges. You mentioned ridicule.
Yes, ridicule and the departure of some due to academic and financial concerns.
Starting something new is never easy, right? Especially when you're challenging the status quo.
It certainly wasn't an easy road. But despite that, a dedicated core remained. Arizona Cleaver, Pearl Neal, and the Tyler sisters, Myrtle and Viola.
Okay, so 4 dedicated members.
Right. But having only 4 members created a practical problem. University policy required a minimum of 5 for official recognition of any student organization.
The administrative hurdle.
Always one, right?
Yeah.
And this is where Fanny Petty, who is a Georgia native, joined the group. She was invited by Myrtle Tyler, completing the founding 5.
The 5 pearls.
Exactly. And they also had steadfast support from Phi Beta Sigma. In December 1919, A. Langston Taylor, the principal founder of Phi Beta Sigma, was authorized to help organize the sorority. He, along with Charles Robert Samuel Taylor, no relation, importantly provided invaluable support and counsel to these resolute young women.
That Sigma connection was key from the start.
It really was. So the stage was set. The following year, Cleaver was chosen to present the group's request for recognition to the university administration.
Big moment.
Huge. And official recognition to establish a 3rd sorority at Howard was granted in January 1920.
And there it was. So let's talk about that momentous first meeting and what it established.
Okay.
The first meeting of the newly established group took place on January 16th. And that's now acknowledged, of course, as the founding date of Zeta Phi Beta.
January 16th, 1920.
Right. And there, the members chose Zeta Phi Beta as the name for their sorority, with each Greek letter carrying significant meaning.
That's right. Z for zeal. Phi pronounced F-I-E, like hi-fi.
Good clarification. F-I-E for scholarship.
And Beta for sisterly love. And Arizona Cleaver Stemmons was given the crucial task of creating the Constitution based on Phi Beta Sigmas.
Solidifying that link.
Exactly. This officially made them brother and sister organizations in the pantheon of Black Greek letter organizations. This constitutional bond is a truly distinguishing feature, a strategic alliance from the very beginning.
It certainly is. And the preamble to the Zeta Phi Beta Constitution itself clearly outlines their core purposes. We're talking promoting the cause of education, encouraging the highest standards of scholarship through scientific, literary, cultural, and educational programs. They also aim to promote charitable projects, foster sisterly love, and promote the ideal of finer womanhood.
That's quite a mission statement.
It really is. This foundational document truly encapsulates their forward-thinking vision and commitment way beyond just campus life.
So those 5 trailblazing founders were Arizona Cleaver Stemmons, Pearl Neal, Myrtle Tyler Faithful, Viola Tyler Goings, and Fanny Petty.
The 5 pearls.
Right. And according to the source, they generously recognized Charles Robert Samuel Taylor and A. Langston Taylor for their steadfast support. Again, showing that strong brother-sister bond from the very beginning.
As with any organization rooted in such purpose, deep thought went into selecting the symbols that would express the sorority's ideals.
Makes sense.
Yeah. The pin, for instance, bears the letters Z, Phi, F-I-E, and Beta, representing zeal, scholarship, and sisterly love.
Got it.
And the 5 pearls in the center represent the 5 founders. It's a beautiful tribute, really.
They truly thought of everything. The white rose was chosen as Zeta Phi Beta's emblem for its, quote, purity and truth. And the dove symbolizes the gentleness and peacefulness of the Holy Spirit. Even their colors, royal blue and white, were carefully selected to convey specific meanings.
Yes, according to research, royal blue and white represent the sorority's ideals of strength, beauty, wisdom, and sisterhood.
Okay.
Royal blue specifically symbolizes strength, beauty, and success, while white represents purity, innocence, and oppressed people striving for equality.
Wow, layers of meaning there.
Definitely. These colors also directly reference the founding principles of Zeta Phi Beta: scholarship, sisterhood, service, and finer womanhood. Every element reinforces their core mission.
It's very intentional. Now, despite the initial interest in joining, you mentioned challenges. Many women couldn't fulfill the high academic standards or maybe afford the nominal initiation fee.
Right, those practical barriers again.
Yeah. So of 25 women initially interested in the second pledge class, only 4 were actually initiated. Gladys Warrington, Harriet Dorsey, Pauline Phillips, and Nellie Singfield.
Mostly 4. But what's particularly notable here is that Pauline Phillips graduated summa cum laude.
Wow, top honors.
Exactly, setting an incredibly high standard of academic excellence that is still expected of Zeta women today. This immediately established the sorority's tradition of scholarship, proving their commitment to intellectual achievement wasn't just, talk.
Actions speak louder. And in a beautiful gesture of unity, Zeta Phi Beta was introduced at the Whitelaw Hotel by two of their Sigma brothers.
The Taylors again.
Yes, Charles Robert Samuel Taylor and A. Langston Taylor. And in a further display of interorganizational support, Alpha Kappa Alpha and Delta Sigma Theta even organized a welcome to campus reception in the Minor Hall Assembly Room to commemorate the new sorority's arrival.
That truly speaks to a shared understanding of community building, doesn't it? Even with distinct groups.
It really does. And this strong foundation quickly led to significant growth and expansion for Zeta Phi Beta, solidifying their place far beyond Howard.
Yeah, they didn't stay just a local chapter for long. In December 1920, just later that same year, Zeta Phi Beta held its inaugural boule, that's their national convention, in partnership with members of Phi Beta Sigma at Howard University. This historic event led to the establishment of its official magazine, the Archon, which became a vital tool for communication and building that shared identity.
And this below system wasn't just ceremonial, it strategically facilitated growth and governance. Zeta Phi Beta was officially incorporated in Washington, D.C. on March 30, 1923, and Leader in Illinois in 1939. This legal solidification demonstrated its unwavering commitment to promoting progressive initiatives and tackling societal issues, things like discrimination, economic hardship, health challenges. It was about building a lasting institution.
Absolutely. And this young organization chose to extend its influence far beyond Howard University's campus, really transforming into a national force.
And what's particularly insightful is their national expansion philosophy. It was distinct.
How so?
Well, in contrast to some other Black Greek letter organizations at the time, Zeta emphasized founding chapters at historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, rather than primarily recruiting at predominantly white institutions, or PWIs.
That's interesting, a deliberate choice. And according to the source, this was seen as a very progressive approach. Just as Phi Beta Sigma aimed to be a part of the community rather than apart from it, Zeta Phi Beta believed establishing chapters at HBCUs was a crucial way to build inroads into areas that could truly benefit from their services.
Right. It wasn't just about social connections among college students.
No.
It was about building community infrastructure and support systems where they felt they were most needed.
Makes sense. And their first chapters weren't even in the major urban centers you might expect.
No, they were established in places like Talladega, Alabama, Lorman, Mississippi, and Charlotte, North Carolina.
Wow.
Their first two college chapters were at Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia, and Morgan State College in Baltimore, Maryland, followed by a citywide chapter in San Antonio, Texas. This distribution really highlights a commitment to serving diverse communities, not just the big cities.
And what's particularly significant, I think, is that in 1923, the Theta chapter was founded at Wiley College in Marshall, Texas, making it the first collegiate chapter of any Black sorority in the entire state of Texas.
That's a major milestone.
Huge. It demonstrates their dedication to reaching deep into the southern region and HBCUs, establishing a presence where it could have the most impact. And this commitment persisted, even as they also established chapters in more integrated cities later on.
So they're growing. Then, fast forward to 1934, and Zeta Phi Beta began selecting national honorary members. This included notable figures like Abby Clement Jackson and Dorcas Ruthenberg.
Expanding their network of influence?
Exactly, further expanding their recognition. Then, during the height of the Great Depression, which is just incredible timing.
Yeah, challenging times.
An incredibly historic meeting occurred in downtown Houston's Black Commercial District.
This truly showcased their forward-thinking approach and, well, immense resilience. Violet Anderson, who was the national president at the time, urged the Lambda Zeta chapter to host the national conference in Houston, Texas in 1937.
In Houston in 1937.
Yes, and this was groundbreaking because it was the first national conference of a Black Greek letter organization ever held in the South.
Wow. Directly challenging segregation.
Head on. And the display of unity and resilience was profound because, as you can imagine, no restaurants were available for Black people in downtown Houston. So members and friends in Black communities throughout the city accommodated representatives in their homes. The Lambda Zeta chapter responded to Zeta's request by hosting what was considered one of the best meetings in the sorority's 17-year history.
That's amazing. It wasn't just a meeting. It was a powerful statement of self-sufficiency and solidarity in the face of that kind of systemic discrimination.
Absolutely. And this momentum continued. By the 1940s, Zeta Phi Beta truly became an international organization by initiating a chapter in Africa.
International expansion already in the 40s.
Yes, Dr. Rachel Townsend, who was an African sorority member herself, expressed her interest in establishing a chapter in Liberia, which was, again, quite visionary for its time.
Truly remarkable. So how did that happen?
Well, at the suggestion of other sorority members, Dr. Townsend returned to Liberia to identify other Zetas who had attended Howard University and were interested in starting a chapter there.
Okay, finding the connections.
Right. An application was submitted, and a charter was granted in December 1948 to establish a graduate chapter in Monrovia.
Monrovia, Liberia. Incredible.
And beyond Africa, graduate chapters also exist throughout the United States Virgin Islands, fostering community engagement and professional development. So this expansion wasn't just about putting dots on a map, it was about extending their values globally.
And this commitment to a global footprint goes hand in hand, it seems, with Zeta's unwavering commitment to diversity and inclusivity.
Yes. According to research, their diversity statement, in part, affirms their goal to respect and value all people, irrespective of their age, gender expression, race, ability, disability, creed, religion, sexual orientation, or walk of life.
That's quite comprehensive.
It is. And this inclusive stance really aligns with their founding principles of breaking down those superficial barriers we talked about earlier.
And their mission statement powerfully reflects this community-conscious and action-oriented approach. It includes being active in the community at local and national government levels and positively impacting young people's lives.
Right.
For example, they organize an annual event called Zeta Day on the Hill.
Ah, yes, Zeta Day on the Hill. This educates their members on the protocols of connecting with congressional representatives.
Practical skills.
Very practical, helping them enhance meetings to discuss issues of interest to local, state, and national membership. This truly shows an organization engaged with direct advocacy, making its voice heard on policy that affects their communities. It's not just service, it's active citizenship.
That's powerful. And beyond advocacy, Zeta Phi Beta provides extensive leadership development opportunities. According to the source, their program empowers members to impact their communities through innovative programs and mentorship opportunities.
And what's particularly insightful is their belief that leadership isn't just about holding positions of authority.
Right, it's more than a title.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's also about embodying values such as integrity, empathy, and resilience. The program's comprehensive training helps members develop essential leadership skills like effective communication, decision-making, collaboration.
The whole package.
Yeah, they truly foster a holistic approach to leadership, recognizing it as a lifelong journey.
And Zeta Phi Beta has this really impressive list of firsts in the Black Greek letter organization landscape.
They really do.
They were the first to have auxiliary groups, which extended their impact beyond just college students to multiple generations.
The amici, the youth groups.
Right. They were also the first to have a national headquarters with salaried staff. That's a strategic move, right?
Yeah.
It professionalized their operations, ensured long-term stability.
Huge step for sustainability. And they were the first to charter a chapter in Africa, as we mentioned, demonstrating incredible foresight and global expansion.
Yeah.
And of course, they were the first sorority constitutionally bound to a fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma, solidifying that unique partnership for collective action. These are truly pioneering achievements that speak volumes about their innovative spirit and dedication.
Definitely. These auxiliary groups are a testament to their commitment to their guiding mission of scholarship, service, sisterly love, and finer womanhood.
They broaden the reach significantly.
They do. They include the Amico group, comprised of women who have not yet obtained a college degree. The first was founded way back in 1948 in Omaha, Nebraska. So, extending their reach to women beyond academia early on.
And they've got groups for younger generations too, right? Building that multi-generational pipeline.
Exactly. The Arcanettes are high school young ladies, ages 14 to 18, interested in scholarship, sisterly love, and community service.
Okay.
For even younger girls, there are the Amicettes, ages 9 to 13, and the Pearlettes, the youngest, ages 4 to 8.
Starting them young.
Right. Plus, they have the Zeta Male Network, which supports the males in the lives of Zeta Phi Beta members. It creates this truly encompassing network of support and engagement.
That's really comprehensive. And their influence extends even further. On January 25, 2001, Zeta Phi Beta was granted non-governmental organization, or NGO, status with the United Nations.
NGO status with the UN, that's significant global recognition.
It is, and in 2005, they completed a $2 million renovation project of their international headquarters, that historic building they purchased way back in 1959.
Wow, maintaining their history while moving forward.
Precisely. This organization also formed some incredible partnerships. In December 2010, Zeta entered an official partnership with Motown legend Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, wow.
To collect toys for his annual House Full of Benefit concert, with all 850 chapters pledging to collect. Imagine that coordination.
That's massive impact.
Huge. They've also collaborated closely with their brother organization, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, Inc., particularly in community service in southern states, showcasing those deep, continuing roots.
And the list of their partners is just extensive. It really showcases their wide-ranging impact. Goldman Sachs, March of Dimes, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, the NAACP, the United Nations, the Urban League, just many, many more.
It's an impressive network, and this vast network allows them to implement a variety of internationally mandated programs, truly reaching vulnerable populations.
Yeah, Zeta Phi Beta has really taken on the challenge of helping the most vulnerable in the Black community through a whole host of targeted social action programs.
Like the Elder Care Initiative.
Exactly. That focuses on elder abuse awareness, financial peace, supporting caregivers, and actually volunteering at senior care facilities.
Which is such a critical area. According to the Ageless Alliance, 1 out of 10 older adults are victims of elder abuse. That's a shocking statistic.
It really is, and Zeta places informational tables and tents annually in various public spaces like restaurants, businesses, churches, libraries to raise awareness and provide resources. Very boots on the ground.
And their impact extends to maternal and child health too, right? They partner with the March of Dimes and work with the Stork's Nest program to promote prenatal health in low-income pregnant women by offering educational opportunities, directly addressing those health disparities.
That's vital work. Other key initiatives include the Adopt a School program, the International Women of Color program, which provides support to people with AIDS and their caregivers, and the triple-negative breast cancer program, addressing a very specific and severe health challenge within the community.
These are all under their ZHOP organization umbrella, correct? Zeta, helping other people excel.
That's right, ZHOP. And since 2003, Zeta chapters and their auxiliaries have worked to distribute information on issues related to premature birth to hundreds of houses of worship annually. That just shows their widespread reach.
Hundreds of congregations reached. And ZHO program also offers financial aid through the National Educational Foundation, with a strong belief in the importance of service to the community. So it blends education, health, and financial support.
A holistic approach again. So, more than 100 years later, Zeta Phi Beta remains this powerful force for unity and social change among African American women.
Still going strong.
Absolutely. Through community-based partnerships, Zeta administers several important programs aimed at strengthening the Black community, truly embodying their motto.
The fundamental principles set forth by those pioneering sorors, genuine service, scholarship, sisterly love, and finer womanhood, they continue to be a source of inspiration and guidance for women around the globe. These values foster a sense of unity, empowerment, and purpose, encouraging women to strive for excellence and support one another in their journeys. It's truly inspiring to see a vision hold strong for over a century like that.
It really is. You can clearly see how the original vision from 1920 has not only endured, but has expanded globally, maintaining its core values while adapting to contemporary needs.
Yeah, it's quite the legacy.
It's incredible. Just a quick recap of some key facts about Zeta Phi Beta today. Their motto is a community-conscious, action-oriented organization.
Sums it up well.
Their colors are royal blue and white. Their flower is the white rose. Their symbol is the dove. Their publication is the Archon. They have 850 chapters, and their international headquarters is at 1734 New Hampshire Avenue, NW, Washington, D.C., 2009.
So there you have it. The incredible journey of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Incorporated. From its audacious founding in the tumultuous 1920s by 5 visionary women,
the 5 pearls,
to its status today as an international organization with deep community roots. All of it guided by its core principles of scholarship, service, sisterly love, and finer womanhood.
As you reflect on this deep dive, maybe consider the profound impact of collective action and having a clear, unwavering vision. Given the immense societal challenges that sparked Zeta Phi Beta's creation back then, What lessons can you draw about the power of individuals uniting to address deep-seated issues and create lasting change in your own community today? It really makes you think about how we can approach today's challenges with similar foresight and dedication.
It's a great question for reflection. And if this deep dive has sparked your curiosity about the rich history and dynamics of Black Greek letter organizations, you'll definitely want to explore the full source material we used.
Definitely.
We were diving into excerpts from Before You Pledge, essential information you should know about Black Greek letter organizations, and the dynamics of pledging in a culture of hazing by Dr. Michael J. Winfield Sr., with that foreword by J.T. Childs Jr.
Great book, and you can purchase the book on Amazon.com or directly from www.questexcelmultimedia.com. That's questexcelmultimedia.com.
And don't forget to visit their message board while you're there and leave your complete contact information. They'd love to hear your thoughts and insights.
Absolutely. We'd love for you to engage with the source directly. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.